for. Also, I think, Andy, for $9.99, it's something that you can take a little bit of a risk, even if you're not sure about it. Why not go for it and try it? Because I think I would use it for other things as well.
The ruler is it's a ruler with a 60-degree end, and it has got a lot of other uses. We did another one at the same time as that called an impossible T, and you can create that with that ruler as well. So it's got a lot of more uses than just that. It was designed for that, but it can be used other times,
Perfect.
other places.
No, it's brilliant. Now we are on Black Tag event setting. Now we have got a 30%, and whenever you're seeing the tag with the 30% off, well, it's self-explanatory. That item will have a 30% off, courtesy of the event that we are having here. Now this one is a Dresden 13-hour clock acrylic template, £10 and 49 pence. Can I ask the 13-hour clock, what does exactly mean?
Well, when we used to go to the shows, seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it does.
The thing that you were asked, you know, the thing that people wanted most was time. I haven't got enough time to make all the quilts and do all the jobs I want to do. So it was done as a little bit of a joke, because a 13-hour clock, so you've got an extra hour a day. And the thing about it is the fact that it's a Dresden plate, but any one you buy on the market, you wouldn't get anything that is an odd number. They're all worked out in their degrees, and they work out, you know, 45 degrees. You know, they make 6, 8, 12, 16 blades. You wouldn't find anything on the market that breaks into 13. So it was doing something different that people could then make a clock out of it. And so we tend to that. So there was another sample, but once it actually went the way of the other one, they seemed to disappear in lockdown.
Yeah.
Like,
or it went to the 13-hour room.
Because we've done that with as many different ways. So you've got the letters, so you've got the numbers in there to cut the numbers for the clock. You've also got a stencil so you can draw around and like embroider them. And also in the pack is some iron-on numbers. So you could just put them straight on. You don't have to worry about anything else. So there's several different ways in there of making it. So it was just it was a quirky idea, and they're saying thought it looked nice in a frame. 13 hours a day, or 13 hours, so you get 2 extra hours a day to sew.
That's amazing. To sew, to cut fabric, to whatever, a craft, a stamp, and whatever is your, how do we say, a hobby that would be. I think it's a great idea. £10 and 49 pence is your price for that. 702-195 is your item number. Now we have got the next one, which is fabulous. We have got lovely samples here as well. Now is the Calm Storm, and Calm Storm. Andy, you are tricking me with these words. You are really. I mean, and you wouldn't be the first one.
The pattern is called Storm at Sea, but I saw it many years ago and thought, yeah, I'd like to make that, but that's far beyond my ability to make that. And as time went on, suddenly one day I worked out a way that I could do it by making it more accurate. So, because I see that as my biggest problem is you make 2 pieces, and when you join them together, they aren't exactly the same. Well, this is very important that this is. So we found a way of making it so it's much more accurate, so the chances of it turning out correct are better. So we renamed it Calm, because you'll keep calm while you're making the storm at sea.
That's a very good way. Now, it's one of those ones that is a different sort of optical illusion, I think, this one, because it feels that it's a curvature, doesn't it?
They're waves, which is where it's storm at sea, so they're waves, but it's completely made of straight lines. There is not a curve in there. It's, once again, it's the eye, what looks at everything, and the colours that blend it through, and you think there are wavy lines going through that quilt.
And I'm right to believe that this is
that Storm at Sea as well, just done, but just rearranging the colours so that they give these interlocking sections.
Isn't it amazing? And so is the next one as well here.
So there's 2 different ways of doing Storm at
I
Sea.
love this one even more.
So the one you're holding up has got the double diamond block in it.
Yeah.
And the other one, the purple and green one, has a single diamond. So it makes the run different. It's exactly the same templates, but it's just 2 diamond blocks next to each other as opposed to 1.
It's just incredible. So you are getting the templates. I love that you bring the old video boxes, of course, recycling or upcycling them.
Upcycling.
Upcycling. We are all about that. So you can keep all your acrylic templates in here. And of course, you have got the instructions on how to make the blocks and everything included, which is perfect because then you can follow step by step. £20 and 99 pence. Can you imagine doing something like this? But not as in a storm, but in calming storm, which means that you will not have those frustrating moments. 462501 is your item number, and then we are moving on to, well, I do like, but you know, you're making it difficult for me to choose my favorite. The Intertwined Hearts template, 11.19 pence is the price. 320485 is your item number. I finally can hear my director. I couldn't hear him. Anyway, if you saw me kind of clicking my ear, that's what I was trying to do. Anyway, you can see here. Now, how do we use these intertwined hearts? So
those are behind you. You've got the double one and the triple one. So they're basically you're cutting the fabric out and appliquing it on, but it's given the effect that one heart is tucked behind another, so they intertwine. So, and then because it can be made, you can carry on. That's 2 that you just held up, but you can change it to 3, which you could make it 4, 5, 6, however many you want. They all just
there is a hidden
overlap
4
each
here.
other.
There is one that is very kind of discreet in the end.
No.
There you can see there is a pink one. There's where is it? Here. That's a 4 one.
Oh, there is a 4 one. Yes, sorry. Yeah, I've forgotten that I've done it. Yes, it hides on the screen, doesn't it? Yeah, there is 4. Yes.
It's just the one that is very shy. That heart is like, oh, I just, I don't want to take over. Anyway, if you wanted those gorgeous hearts, well, £11 and 99 pence is the price. You're saving £4 and 80 pence. And of course, a black tag event at 320485. Remember that Andy was here early on, so why not check out your website, because we have got the Robin, the incredibly popular Robin. Roger, actually, it's Roger. Roger, like our Katie's horse, a beautiful horse it is. Right, so if you want to go for the stack heads as well, or maybe the nested circles, all that you will find it on the website. So have a look and check out your baskets. Right, Andy, what are you going to show us next?
So we're going to do the Storm at Sea. So why it's so simple is because even though however big the quilt is, it's only made up of 3 blocks. So there's this block, which is the largest of the squares, there's the small one, and then there's the diamond block. Okay. So that's what it's made of. So the diamond block length of it is the same length as what the square is. So that would join on there like that. And then the small square is the width of the diamond block.
Okay.
So the important thing about it is these squares are made up of 9 pieces of fabric. And each time they must be a square, and they must be exactly the same. So the chances of me making a square 2 the same is very slim, which was a whole problem with the thing. So we devised a set of templates that you can do it. So you cut your centre square, you sew rectangles round it, and then you cut it down again with that one, sew rectangles around it, and then cut it again down with that one. So no matter how well or how badly you sew, in the end, you're cutting it down with that square. So each one of those will be identical. And it works the same with all 3 of them. So that's how, so when it comes to joining them together, we're not joining all these lots of bits of fabric. We're joining that square to that rectangle to that square. So we've reduced the error factor vastly. So that's how it works. So we'll make this little block. So we have there, we're only going to do it in 2 colours tonight, so I've placed it on my fabric and I've cut that out. So it's all done in strips of different widths, which there's a piece of paper in the pack and it tells you what blocks make which blocks and how wide the strips are on them. So here it tells me I've got to have a 1.5 inch strip on this side. So I'm just going to put that on, and I've cut the strips as large bits, and then I'm just going to trim them down each time, so it's easier than cutting lots of individual bits.
Okay. And then, look at that.
So I'm just...
And the thing is that I remember seeing this template, ideas, a beautiful quilt pattern, and I thought, there is no way I would know how to do it without having templates that would tell me exactly what to do. 'Cause look at that.
So we've sewn that on that side, we've just trimmed it off. Now we're going to sew the carry on the other side.
And of course, all the instructions come in with the templates, don't we?
Yep, all the instructions come with it. And if you're stuck, because there is no such thing as a stupid question. If you don't know, then you need to ask. So you email me or phone me. My number is on every template that we make.
Okay.
My telephone number, my email address is on there. Phone me and ask me the question. Chances are I've been asked it before and I know the answer, you know.
Well, that's the thing, because usually the tricky bits are the tricky bits for the same tricky bits
the same
for
people.
Everybody.
And also, if we get the same question so many times, we then alter the instructions. We add it to it, because if lots of people are stumbling on it, so our templates evolve as time goes on. They become more because we like to improve on them all the time, because that's how you get a better job. It's difficult to cut this last bit off. Trim it across there. I'll just fold that out. So yes, I mean, let's say if you find something wrong with something, instructions, then please tell me. If you find a spelling mistake, I won't be shocked, because spelling's not my best.
I am appalling. I am so. But I was as bad in Spanish, which is my mother tongue, or Catalan, which is the other language I spoke in Mallorca. My spelling was atrocious, always has been. So I'm like, I've given up with English. I'm just like, yeah. So don't worry, I completely understand that.
I mean, someone said to me, well, don't the printers pick it up when you send your stuff to be printed? And I said, we don't send it, we do it all ourselves.
Exactly.
So if we don't notice it, we don't notice it. So I've taken a square and basically I've sewn 4 1.5 inch strips around the outside of it. That one's still left full size. So now the next piece of the template, which has the square marked on it. Now the square is obviously got smaller because it's 1/4 inch smaller.
Yeah.
So now by placing that on there,
I see.
I'm going to trim this off. Now this does, there is more waste. There is more waste involved. That is, not going to deny that. But there's less waste involved in you making blocks wrong. Absolutely. And you chucking them away and remaking them because they didn't fit in the first place. So it's a case of, that's how things go. So we've now got a square like that.
Wow.
So now we want a piece of a 2-inch strip.
Okay.
So that comes off the 2-inch pile. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. So we're going to place this on the edge.
So it's fronts to right sides together.
Right sides together again. And we're just sewing down, 1/4 inch seam. We're using all the time. Everything I do is with a 1/4 inch seam. If we did something that was different, we would put it in big block letters because.
Hey, you know what? It's like whenever we do a quilting show or something like this, like 1/4 inch seam, unless otherwise it's specified. I'm yet to find a project or something that says actually you need a wider or a smaller inch seam in sewing seam. So.
I mean,
seam allowance, sorry. That's
most of the time, the 3/8 seam is used when people are doing hand sewing, because it gives you more, or English paper piecing, because it gives you more to wrap round, because you're doing it by hand. So,
And I suppose as well for hand dressmaking, you are using also wide seam, I think. Is it that? Dressmaking?
Dressmaking, they use even bigger, because a lot of times dressmaking uses a 5/8.
Yeah.
It does depend on what you are doing, because a simple little seam like this in dressmaking wouldn't be strong enough for the garment a lot of the time. You'd move in the and the seam would go.
Oh, thank you. You know that I like to eat, and therefore you're gonna put extra pounds, and I need extra, strong seams. But also, I imagine that dressmaking requires, making sure that those seams are, how you call it, overlocked.
Overlocked.
So you
So
need
yeah,
a
a lot
little
of
bit
the time,
extra for that.
a lot of the time you would allow more, because if you're using an overlocker, that trims something off as it go, doesn't it? So.
But no, I mean, going back to the point is that all your templates are 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, unless otherwise specified, and it will be specified with very bold letters. That is something different.
So that's the third bit onto that one. So now it's just the last bit on this side, and then that will be again 4 pieces sewn round a square, but what was actually a square in a square.
Yeah.
So that's the last piece there.
See, you have explained this again so well, because I always kind of knew the principle, but I never seen it done so clearly. And now I kind of say, of course, if you have got the right templates and you have got the right instructions, you can do everything.
So again here, I've sewn these on. Now this, you can't, the camera's not going to pick it up, but this square in the middle is not exactly on the line that's on the template, which means at some point, one of my seams is a fraction out. This is where the whole thing would go wrong if it's not done like this. So that slight error is now going to be wiped away, because once I do this to it, should have bought a better cutting mat.
Okay, and then of course you go a little bit. We can see the lines, so we can see exactly what you mean, and of course it just makes it so much easier.
So that square is exactly the same as the one I made
there,
but it's 9 pieces of fabric. That is the thing about it. So now, joining those together, a lot of the error has gone from the thing. So now you just have to make sure that you get all your strips the right colours to join. But then once again, in the pack you have a colouring sheet to help you colour in, so you know what's going where, and you cut yourself your strips, cut yourself all the strips, and then you could just make them up, because they're repetitive. So that block doesn't just appear once in the thing, it appears several times. So you could set yourself a task, right, I've got to make 12 of these blocks, so then you make them all the same, and I say then when you sew them together, that's you're only sewing large squares, small squares and rectangles.
Easy.
The problem is much less, and saying that in the results is that sort of.
It's just genius. Anyway, I'm just kind of blown away how simple Andy has made it. If you want those templates, which make it so simple, £20.99, £9 saving. Now we have got also the Dresden square plate here, which is the Dresden square template. £10.99 is the price for the 10-inch ones. We had a look at them on the 5 o'clock show. Yeah, you can catch it on Rewind. So if you want to see more detail, I thought it's genius the way that you can use it in different ways, the way that it gives you sharp corners, so therefore you can do them as blocks. This is one of the projects that you could be making. £10.99 is the price. 604460 is the item number. Templates and instructions and roller coloring sheets. Now you may want to go for the bundle, in which you have got the 10, the 8, the 4 and the 5 inches. And what it means is that not only you can do this one, which I love. It's like a windmill. It has got that movement, doesn't it?
Yeah. The picture, there's a picture on the box where I actually stacked all of them together on top of each other and just slightly twisted them. That looks great.
Yeah,
That does.
because you are also getting, of course, the 8 inches, and then you are getting the 5 inches, and then you are getting the 4. Or alternative, I did it like a magic trick the other last time. It's like you go this, then you go this, then you go this, and this one. They look like, you know, I mean, not magic trick, but they kind of shrink it or maybe make it. It's maybe better if it goes bigger. I sometimes like it when things go bigger. Right, anyway, 885175 is your item number, £21.99. Now, Roger the Robin, not Roger the horse, that's completely altogether, that's Katie's. Maybe, you never know, it might come as a template, but Roger the Robin, it did sell out early, but it's back on extended delivery. It will be dispatched on the 3rd of December, so it's only a week, next Thursday. $11.99 is the price, and if you want a beautiful robin to celebrate Christmas or to celebrate any time of the year, because robins are not just for Christmas, although of course they are the traditional thing of Christmas. If you could make it into a slightly different bird as well, changing a little bit the colors and, you know, a little bit of fantasy in the way that you can decorate Roger. 528901. We worked out that Roger was definitely not the sort of father-in-law of Angie. It was definitely not inspired by that. I thought it was good.
Now we're past the 9 o'clock, I can tell you, because there was I was told I should tell the story about what Roger did the other day.
Oh, okay.
He goes to the supermarket to get his newspaper.
Yes.
So he's gone to the supermarket, he's got his newspaper, he's walking across the car park back to the car, presses the key fob, hear the click of the doors open. He opens the back door of the car and puts his newspaper on the back seat.
Okay.
And the person in the passenger seat goes, "Can I help you, mate?" His car was the one next door, but so he just not paying attention. He'd heard the click and just got into the next colour, the same colour car.
And the funny thing is there was somebody in there.
There was already somebody in there. Well, if there hadn't been, he wouldn't have been able to open the door because it wasn't that one that opened. But
oh, well, Roger, you are a legend. You know, at least nothing. Roger, it's okay, right?
He's okay, yes.
It's okay, no problem. So, you know, just a precautionary tale. Just make sure that you get into the right car. 528901. Have you heard that, Roger? Next time, you know, the right car. Anyway, moving on to the leaves in here. Now, you are getting 12 templates and 30 buttons of the leaves. Now, they are amazing, these ones. And I'm going to show you what you can do because it's better than the acrylic. The acrylic templates are great, but you cannot see what they exactly the shapes. Gorgeous for fall, but gorgeous for all year round. This, Andy, makes a perfect add-on for other projects of applique.
yeah, you didn't have the other bit that you've
Yeah,
as
I'm going to
underneath.
show you. Yeah.
You didn't have that earlier because it was at the wrong end of the counter.
Oh, I see.
So that is all the leaves that you get. So
fabulous.
there's so you can see all the different ones you get and what different sizes they're in.
So you can see them there. So you get, well, 12 templates. So you are getting them in different sizes as well, I can see. And of course, the leaf buttons, 30 of them. So there is plenty to get your head around for £19.99. 569998 is your item number. Moving on to the last item we are going to have a look is the Christmas tree, but the Dresden Christmas tree. I adore this one. This one, you know, look at what you could be making here. Look at that.
Because they are proper Dresdens and they go round. So that the two there, they are the two, because there's 2 Dresdens in the pack, and those what you're holding up, that one and the square one, those are what you could make with the blades if you carried on round like a traditional Dresden.
Okay. But then we have got the ones behind.
But they've been used to make the tree one.
I mean, look at that, and of course the charms or you know, ornaments. You are gonna get those ones as well, right? And then, of course, you have got the underneath. This one, I think, I don't know if it's possible, but if somebody is one of those, you know, if you have got a partner that has to wear ties, a lot of ties,
Yeah, that is the common thing that people say about that, is they think because they flap,
Yeah.
they instantly think it's like they always reply to it as a tie. So yes, you could, if you could cut up your husband's ties and make a tree out of them.
If it's not a tie that he wears anymore, or if, you know, we do not recommend to go to somebody's ties without permission first. We do not recommend that. Anyway, moving on from that subject, 216-473 is your item number, $11.99 is the price. And with that, let's join Andy for another demo. What do you have got next to show us?
So we're doing the box in box. It's not much of a demo because it's only just how to use it. So this is the ruler. It's 3 1/4 inches wide, but it just cuts bits of different lengths. So it's got, the important thing is about the end of it, it's got a 60-degree end, and it's got this little bit that's nicked off that enables you to put one bit on top of the other. So you would use this to cut yourself strips. So you can't cut a very long strip in this. So where you've got your 24-inch ruler, I tend to put that across the fabric, and I slide this up and down and make sure it's lined up, and then I cut myself strips to do it. So,
and your templates have got those feet in there, anti-slip fit, don't they?
yeah, we put these dots on everything now. It's a silicone dot, comes as a circle. We cut it up. We either have it as a solid circle, or we cut it up and place it on. We put markings on the ruler so we know where to put them, because it's important that they're balanced. So if we don't put the markings there, we'd end up putting them in different places each time. So the markings are there to make sure we put them on in the right place, because we've made sure that it's balanced, and that each section you cut, there is at least 2 or 3 pieces of grip to hold the fabric down. So the strips are already cut for us because I've cut that. So I trim off the end like that. And now the first thing I would want for the box in box is the small half hexagon. So I'm going to turn that over. I'm going to have to move my sewing machine slightly to make that stay on the table. Okay. And now I've got line B. Oh, sorry, I'm going to cut the diamonds. That's what I'm cutting. I'm cutting the diamonds to go in the middle, because there's 3 diamonds in the middle. So I line the edge of that up on line B, and then I trim that off again, and that there. So that would be one piece for the middle.
Okay.
Then they'd all be in different colours, but I'm just going to cut them in the same, just to show you how each one works.
So, and am I right to think?
So that would be, we would be cutting one of those. Yep. So then again, I've turned it round, I've trimmed off that little corner bit, and now I'll be cutting on what is marked on the template as line C. So I'll position the dotted line on the edge of the fabric again, and again trim. So that gives me C. So that gives me that bit.
Yeah.
And now again, I'll turn it over and trim that piece off. You have to keep turning your fabric over. Don't be tempted to turn your ruler over, because your ruler is only non-slip one side.
Okay.
So you turn your ruler over. It's easy to think, oh, just turn the ruler over, and then the non-slip effect is no longer of any use. So we turn that over. So the last one is D. So we line up on the dotted line on the template where it says D, and trim that off. And those are our 3 pieces that make up the block. They would be in different colours, but those are the sections for it. And you would fold that over, and because you've trimmed all these corners off, when you fold that over and line that up, they line up.
Oh, I see, of course.
And that helps you get it in the right place to sew them all the time. So again, this one has these 2 corners cut off, so when that's folded over, that lines up. Because if you didn't cut the corners off, it would hang over either end, and then if you didn't get it exactly in the right place, when you've sewn it and turned it, it could end up something like that, staggered. But because the corners are there, it will fold over and it will be perfectly in line. So you'll have made these bits and you put them on three of them going around together, do them in the right colours. That would give the effect of it.
That is perfect. Thank you for showing that, Andy, because this is what you could be making. Isn't it simple? Once you know, Andy has shown exactly how to cut the center pieces. If you look at it, black, one dark, medium and light, the same size. Then we have gone into the other sets, the second size that he has shown, Andy has shown. Then we have got 2 of the light, 2 of the medium, 2 of the dark. And then finally the larger piece, again 2 of the light, 2 of the dark, 2 of the medium. How simple. Once that you analyze it, I don't know about you, but the first time I saw this, I had no clue how it was achieved. And then when you analyze it and when you have got a template that gives you the exact sizing with one template for $9.99, now you can do it. You can think about how that is worked. How this one works, well, also using the same template, but if we look at it, and here, you can see it, here the first side, right?
Yep, that's the first.
Then we have got again here and here.
So we've just put a block in between there, which makes it look like there's a box looking into it.
Like
There's
we
a
want
box
to
on
put
the
our
outside.
hand inside. That is just, I think it's a genius, and it's only $9.99. This is what I mean. It's kind of almost like a treat to yourself without breaking the bank, having a 20% off over an item that usually is £13.99. Of course, courtesy of that black tag event. Now, take a chance maybe. Maybe you want to try something a bit different. Do check it out if you want it. 945-144 is your item number. And of course, we want to see more demos by Andy. So let's rejoin Andy for the next demo.
Okay, so this is the What the Hex, which we had on in.
Oh yes, I like that.
It
Yeah.
fell off the counter because there isn't enough room. Now we've added all the black tags. So there's 2 hexagons, one inside the other.
Right.
So it's to create something like this.
Okay, right. Shall we see exactly what we are getting? There it is, £13.99, 245-857. Thank you, Andy. Sorry about that.
That's fine. So once again, I suppose this is possibly where the idea of the calm storm at sea came from, because if you want to make lots of these and join them together, you need them to be exactly the same. So it's done like this. So you take your centerpiece, you'd put it onto your fabric, and you cut yourself out a hexagon like that. Now you cut yourself strips of fabric. Now, if you lose the instructions, you could always phone me up and ask me for some more, and I'll soon send you some more. But they're actually etched onto the template ABC going round.
I mean,
so
that's good.
They're a rough guide. Once you've made it once, the detailed instructions are written down. Once you've made it once, there is enough here to remind you, so when you come back to go, I haven't got the instructions, I've got a clue here, or what size pieces do I need? Oh, it tells me here, 2.5 by 4. So it's on the template, so the first one is going on there. So you put it onto the edge there, and you sew along. So now the first one, it tells you not to sew it all the way.
Right.
Now chances are you'll forget and you'll do it and you'll have to unpick it, but once you've done it once, you'll remember the second time. So it's when you come round to the end, you understand why. So we fold that over. Now we've found it's best to trim this bit off because it's bulk on the end of the thing that you don't want, and it makes it easier to carry on doing it. So we've trimmed that bit off in line with the hexagon. I've picked some bad fabric here because it's very difficult to tell.
Well,
I'm not sure which way up it is, if I can't tell, I don't think it matters.
I mean, if you cannot tell sitting there, certainly we cannot tell. So whichever way you do it, it will be fine, Andy. And you know what? It's one of those things that I was talking to, I think it was Natasha, one of the other presenters. She's such an amazing source. And I was saying that for me, it's funny because with fabric, although I kind of go more like, I don't mind if I make mistakes. With paper, I'm very kind of, I cannot make mistakes. And I wouldn't mind if it was something like this. It was the wrong side of the fabric. I don't know. I just think it's.
I could understand if it was a petite, but it's not. I don't know. It's just a very good. The print is very good that it goes all the way through the fabric.
Maybe,
so that's 2 we've sewn on, and we've trimmed it off again. So you just carry on going round.
We are very busy, so please, if you are on the phone, we will be with you as soon as we can. If not, if you have got access to the internet, hochanda.com, or of course the mobile app for mobile phones, either Android or of course Apple phones.
So again, just carry on working around. So that's 3 on. Now I'm doing these in all the same colour, but you have the option of doing them in different colours. I haven't trimmed that off very well. Let's try that again.
And the template you're using to cut, or the ruler, is that included in the
No,
hands?
that's not. That's just a little a small ruler. But when you check out, you do get the option. We make these.
Oh.
We make these. They're 8-inch rulers. They're perfect. They go in your sewing bag, cut around. We make a 2.5, a 2, and a 1.5, and they're all on the the up sales. When you check out, you get them. You get the option for them if you want. Sort of like.
It's an end of call offer if you
the
call, or also why not free when you check out, you can add it on, and it doesn't have extra delivery charges. If you are not a Freedom member, you don't have to even think about that. It's just a great way to add on those extras that
we make a lot of stuff that's not viable to bring on a show to sell by itself. It would cost, it costs nearly as much to post it to you as it does to for you to buy it. So it can only be bought when you've already bought something else. So
absolutely.
So that's 4 on. Now here comes the 5th one.
Andy, you make something that has driven me insane, because with paper, I always have loved hexagons. I love that, it has got something about them. And I remember trying to get my head around how to do a hexagon with fabric. And I've seen demos and things like that, and I couldn't. This, now I understand how making the board, now you're going to put the template over the top and trim it round, right?
Yep. So
see, it just makes so much simpler, so much easy.
So that's the that one there. Now this is where if you'd made the mistake and you'd sewn the first one on totally, you wouldn't be able to pull it back to sew the last one on.
Yeah.
So it's a case of you'll make the mistake, but you'll only make it once, hopefully, because you'll see what you've done, and when you come to it next time, you'll remember.
And you could always rip it.
You'll have to unpick it to achieve it. You can't
not rip it.
You can't get away with it. There's nothing you can do. You can't sew this one in place with that one in there. So you would do it. So, but
that's.
And then this last one, this you have to be careful here, because I've done this a few times when demoing it.
I see.
And trying to trim this bit off, I've nicked the other bit and put a hole in it.
Anyway.
So there's the last one. So now that bit that we had what was doing, we can now finish it off. So we can just fold that flat.
I just think it's genius.
And get that in there.
Makes hexagons, which is such a difficult thing. It's with fabric into something that is completely achievable for £13.99. Fabulous.
So that's a bit right there. It's not quite as flat as it should be there. So there are our bits all the way around. So now the centre one has got a 1/4 inch, put it back on there, has got a 1/4 inch seam marked around it. The centre hexagon has got a 1/4 inch smaller. So we line that up on there. Then we put that one over the outside, which gives us the position. Without the middle bit here, we'd be putting that on and we'd be going, where is it going to be? It's not always going to be in the same place. So the centre bit is why you need the centre bit on to line it up to make them all the same. Put that on, and then we trim them off.
fabric.
So there's the bits off, and there we have another hexagon in a hexagon, and it's the same as the next one you make.
You know, imagine doing in different colors. Like, look at that.
So therefore you can then connect them together. The sample I did have was one in the middle with 6 round the outside, which made a lovely centerpiece, but it seems to have ran away at the moment.
I mean, you know, but, who can blame it? I mean, it's just...
You can do them in, you know, just different colours. You can do them in, I've got some opposite ones there, you know, inside and outside. And if you'd have to put them face to face and sew round and leave a gap, but you could turn them and you'd make a great little coaster, you know, a mug rug, which would be double-sided. Or you could put a plain one on the back, because if you want to cut a plain piece of fabric to go on the back, that's the size. So that's it. That's our what the hex, and you know, everyone can be different. And it's scrap fabric again, because this bit in the middle is very small, so therefore you would cut that from your scrap fabric, and the pieces of fabric that you need are only 4 inches by 2.5 inches. So you'd get I think every piece of scrap in your scrap bag you would be able to cut that size out of. So you could make this and not actually have to buy any fabric, because you've already got enough fabric to make this.
That's true. £13.99. Even a beginner like me has got enough fabric for that. Can you imagine maybe your William Morris from last week? Imagine that in that gorgeous fabric. Can you imagine? Well, you know, check out your baskets. 245-857 is your item number. Now we have got about 6 minutes till the end of the show, Andy. Will you be able to?
We can cope.
Oh, we can cope. You know what? My first day today working with Andy, and I already, you know, adore Andy to work with. You're great. You are just such a joy to work with. Anyway, I want to remind you to check out your baskets. What I adore about Crafty UK and Andy's templates is the fact that they are, first of all, affordable. They have got these elements in there, and the anti-slip elements in there, the silicone dots in there, ready, you know, so it's safe to use them. What I adore as well is that they bring something a little bit different, the optical illusion. But it's not difficult. I mean, it is incredibly complicated for the eye to figure out how it's done. Yet, following Andy's simple instructions, you will be able to do it very well. But, of course, instructions are one thing, but if you don't have the tools that allow you to cut with precision, how are you going to follow instructions, or how you are going to follow them accurately? And about, you know, quilting and piecing, it's all about the accuracy of the cut. So then when you sew the pieces, they fit together to deliver exactly what you want. And this is what Andy kind of has worked out. The best tool for a very, very low price of $9.99, of course, courtesy of the Black Tag event, which means that you have got, I believe, a 20% off. It just kind of goes away. Anyway, and you can see that you have got 2 different kind of blocks to work with. Now, please check out your basket if you want it. And let's join Andy, which I think you are ready to do the next one.
Yes. So this is the Dresden Christmas tree. So these are the pieces that in it. So you get 2 blades. They're different sizes, because when we made the first tree, the green one at the bottom, it didn't give enough shape to make it like a Christmas tree. So by having 2 different size blades, been able to do it. So first I'll do is the little decorations that go on. So they start off life. I've got a clear one there, and I've got a dark one. But I mean, it was just simple as a Sharpie pen, and I just colour it in. And as you colour in it and it dries, you can go over it again. You need to go over them 2 or 3 times, but you can see there that it just colours in. So, and they do make these, and certainly at Christmas time, you can get these in silver and gold in your supermarkets, and they make great little buttons, silver and gold. So that's how you do them. So you're going to place this onto your fabric, and you're going to cut it out. So there's one I've already cut. So to make a Dresden blade, very simple. You fold the top over, just line the 2 bits up, and then you pop that under the sewing machine,
Okay.
and you sew straight across the top.
Okay. So,
Right.
and that's,
Thread cutters have stopped working. It's too late for it, I think.
it's just having a snooze. It's like, I'm ready for bed.
Something that I didn't used to do until a little while ago, someone taught me that this point here, where this is where the bulk of the fabric is, where you folded it, if you trim that top bit off, there's a lot less bulk in the point when you turn it over. And also if you open them out, because normally most of my seams I press over, I do very few that are open, but if you press these open, when you turn this inside out, there's just a lot less bulk there. So
I see.
Turning that inside out, if you've got a little pointer or something that you can just manipulate the point with, and then you have to put it down to the iron, line it up in the middle, and just press it. So there we've got two.
I like
so
that.
Then you would, at the bottom row I think is made of 7, and then there's 7 on the next row. So we'll line them up with each other and you sew down. Once again, you sew from the tip end, because the other end doesn't matter. If they don't line up, if your fabric is stretched a bit, pulled a bit, whatever, it's the top that's important that they line up. So you've got the two there like that, and then press them, and then so there are your first, the way it starts to go. So you'd create more going round. Here I've done them the same colour. You can do them in different colours. You can do whatever. I did on the one that's above you. I did rows of green, red, and blue in a Christmassy fabric. But you can do whatever you want. As the camera pans down, the actual trunk is actually a Dresden blade.
Okay.
That's the blade as well to make the trunk, and then the little presents are made with a 60-degree diamond, which comes in the pack as well, and is also what's used to make the star.
Oh, I see.
So there'll be a little blue one in there, won't there? So that blue diamond makes the presents and also makes the star at the top of the tree. That enables you to do the 6.
I cannot reach, but I'm like kind of stretching myself.
So that's how the star is made as well. So everything you need in there is in that pack. All the instructions and everything, how to do it. And of course, you can make as many of these as you want. Simple as that.
Okay, perfect. If you want yours, $11.99 is the price. We have got 1 minute. I want to remind you to check out your baskets. Amazing, affordable prices. Even with the Black Tag event, of course, makes them even more affordable. Check out your baskets, whether it's this one or other of the items, including, of course, Roger the Robin. Now, Andy, when are you back here?
I'm back on New Year's Day.
Well, I'm working Boxing Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. So I'll see you then.
Yes, we're back on New Year's Day. I think we're somewhere in the afternoon and early evening is what we've
that's
got.
Great news, because I think I'm on late. So I'm really looking forward. I hope I get to work with you, and that will be an amazing way to start the new year here at Hochanda. Right, safe drive home.
I should be saying one more thing.
Oh yes.
I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here, because I've missed it.
Other programs are available. Let's dance. Let's strictly come dancing a little bit. Or what about if we have got the X Factor here at Hochanda? Stay tuned for more inspiration. I adore Andy. Heartfelt Creations Black Tag event. Then we saw Kaniko Inkplex. I think this is a repeat with myself. And then introducing Timberwood Take at 12.
If you love cake and you love to bake, we've got something you're going to enjoy. Here at Hochanda's Crafty Kitchen, we'll be introducing you to brand new guest demonstrators from the world of baking and cake decorating, who will be on hand to inspire you with sugar flour making techniques, food flavouring ideas, baking kits in a bottle, and as well as showcasing some very fashionable kitchen aprons. Watch out for brand new products, some very bespoke to the baking world, but others you can utilise within the world of craft, which will allow you more flexibility between the different mediums. Intrigued? Well, set your temperatures, set your timers, and tune in every fortnight to see what's in the oven on the Crafty Kitchen.
Did you know you can watch Hochanda 24 hours a day, 7 days a week using the Hochanda app on your Amazon